Sacred Soul Sanctuary presents Soul Healing Poetry. Assalamu alaikum, dear souls, and peace to every soul who has found their way here. In the name of the one who softens, opens, and awakens the human heart, welcome to Soul Healing Poetry. I am Gulami Mustafa, and this is a space for gentle reflection, spiritual nourishment, and the healing whispers of Rumi poetry. Here, the heart is invited to speak, and the soul is invited to listen. Welcome, dear souls, to Soul Healing Poetry. And if this is your first time, I am so glad you're here. This podcast is full of Rumi whispers, which will awaken your heart. I am Gulama Mustafa, and today we're stepping gently into a place we often avoid, the tender, sometimes painful spaces of our hearts, where wounds and heartbreak reside. Before we begin, I would like to share a Mawlana Rumi poem that I hold close when the heart feels heavy. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Don't turn away. The wound is where your life begins, where your hidden treasure waits, where the night whispers to the heart that it must open to the dawn. Take a moment to breathe that in. Let it sink softly into your chest. Now, even in pain, even in heartbreak, there's a gentle light waiting to enter. Take a moment to settle in. Maybe rest a hand on your chest. And if it feels safe, close your eyes and breathe. Now, feel the rhythm of your heart, steady and persistent. This is your body, your sanctuary, and your home. We all know heartbreak comes in many forms. It can be loss of a loved one, betrayal, unspoken words, dreams that didn't come true, relationships that ended too soon, or paths that veered away from the life you hoped for. Now, these wounds can feel really heavy, like shadows across your chest, or sharp pain in quiet moments. But here's a thought. As Mawlana Rumi reminds us, the wound itself is the doorway for light. Take a slow breath together. Inhale and feel your heart expand. And exhale and feel the space for healing, soft and quiet. This episode is your safe space to sit with your wounds, to listen and to allow the light to enter. Now, I'd like to tell you about Sarah. She remembers the last day she saw her best friend before suddenly falling out with her. No big argument, no dramatic ending, no closure, just silence. A drifting apart that felt like a door slowly closing without her consent. For years she carried that unspoken goodbye like a stone in her chest, not heavy enough to break her, but heavy enough to follow her everywhere. Now, heartbreak doesn't always rule. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it lingers in the pauses of your life, in the places where laughter used to echo, in the memory of what could have been if only someone had stayed. Sarah used to replay these moments in her mind, wondering what she'd done wrong. She kept looking backwards, wishing for answers that never came. But healing doesn't happen by finding the missing sentence. Healing begins when you stop searching for the old door and start noticing the new windows opening around you. Mawlana Rumi reminds us, don't grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form. At first Sarah didn't understand this. How could loss be anything but pain? How could heartbreak be anything but emptiness? But slowly, quietly, life began teaching her. She met new people, not replacements, but reminders. Reminders that connection still exists, that love still flows, that endings do not erase the parts of us that know how to care. She learned that the ache she carried wasn't a punishment. It was an invitation to soften, to listen to her own needs, to learn how to hold herself with a tenderness she once reserved only for others, to forgive without receiving an apology, to release without understanding, and to love again without fear. And in that opening, that small willingness to feel instead of numb, a tiny light began to glow. The wound didn't disappear, but it changed shape. It became a space where compassion grew, where empathy deepened, where she learned to trust her heart again. Think about it. Each heartbreak, each wound, is not an ending. It's an opportunity for a deeper connection to yourself, to your resilience, to your softness, to your soul. So next time you feel the ache of loss, try looking at it as Sarah did, not as a void, but as a small, sacred doorway through which light might enter. Then there's Umar. He trusted someone completely, only to have that trust shattered. He shut his heart, avoided the pain, and told himself he'll get over it. But wounds don't disappear. They echo in quiet moments. When you're alone, lying awake, or walking through a familiar street. They are teachers, not enemies. Mawlana Rumi whispers, don't get lost in your grief. Let it teach you. Umar discovered that by allowing himself to feel, not to act on bitterness, not to chase revenge, but to simply honour the hurt. He made room for healing, and the wound became a mirror, reflecting his strength, his boundaries, and his capacity for love, even after betrayal. So pause for a moment. Can you remember a time someone broke your trust, or life shifted unexpectedly? What might your heart be trying to teach you now if you simply listened? And then there's Hannah. Her heartbreak wasn't loud. It didn't shatter the room or leave dramatic pieces behind. It was quiet, the kind that unfolds itself into your daily life so neatly that even you forget it's there. Yes, she carried on as normal. She smiled, she laughed at the right moments, she kept up with life's rhythm. The work, the conversations, the routines. But inside, the heart was tender, a soft bruise beneath layers of strength. Her heartbreak came from many places. A love lost, opportunities she didn't take, and moments where she wished she had spoken but stayed silent instead. Hannah's pain was a collage of little aches she never gave herself permission to feel. Mawlana Rumi reminds us, the wound is the place where the light enters you. But Hannah didn't let the light in all at once. Her healing came slowly, the way dawn arrives, quiet, soft, almost unnoticed at first. It came through journaling, those late-night pages where her truth finally felt safe enough to whisper. It came through quiet prayers when her heart sat open in front of her Lord, finally honest and finally bare. It came through breath, each inhale reminding her that life flows, that she still belongs here, that her heart still knows how to soften. And it came through small acts of kindness, closing her eyes for a moment, making herself tea when no one asked, letting herself rest without guilt. Hannah's lesson wasn't about forgetting the past, it was about understanding it, about realizing that the ache she carried wasn't her enemy, it was her teacher. It was guiding her towards noticing her own needs, nurturing the parts of her she neglected, and learning to love herself with the same devotion she once gave others. She discovered that healing is not a moment, it's a companionship, a slow, patient walk back to yourself. And perhaps there's a little Hannah inside all of us, carrying silent longing, softly asking, will you sit with me, gently, without rushing? Mawlana Rumi says, heartbreak and wounds are also visitors. They bring messages. Grief arrives to teach presence. Betrayal knocks to show boundaries. Longing whispers to reveal your desire. Loss reminds you of impermanence. Mawlana Rumi encourages us, do not grieve. Anything you lose comes round in another form. So, let's imagine our wounds not as burdens, but as small lights waiting to enter. Even the sharpest pains can soften when greeted with presence and kindness. That feels strange, right? To smile at heartbreak, but even a gentle acknowledgement, even to acknowledge that pain that you're feeling, can transform the wound into a doorway for light, wisdom and growth. Think about it. The moments when this can happen aren't always big or dramatic. They show up in the ordinary. When you're making your morning breakfast and a memory suddenly tugs at your heart, pause, whisper to yourself, I see you and I feel you. When something plays on the radio and your chest tightens with longing, notice it. Allow the warmth of acknowledgement to soften the ache. When you scroll through old photos and feel a pang of loss, let yourself breathe. Place a hand on your heart and say softly, I see you and I feel you. When you're stuck in traffic and waiting, frustrated, but inside your mind drifts to what you've lost or what went wrong, acknowledge it gently. So even in these small everyday moments, letting yourself meet your heartbreak without rushing, without fixing, can open the tiniest door for light to enter. It's not about erasing the pain. It's about creating space for wisdom, self-compassion and growth to bloom quietly in the heart. Now, we're going to try a simple heart-centered breathwork. Get yourself comfortable, sit or lie down. Place one hand over the heart and the other on your stomach. And if it feels safe, close your eyes. Now breathe in slowly through your nose, imagining a soft golden light entering your chest, filling the space around you. Hold it gently for 2 seconds, and in your mind, name the feeling. Grief, betrayal, longing, loss. Now, exhale. Imagining tension and resistance leaving. Silently say, I allow the light to enter. I am open to healing. See a small door in the center of your chest, and with each breath, it opens more, and the light enters your heart gently, illuminating the wound. Now bring your hands to your heart and whisper softly, my wounds are not my weakness. They are the doorway for light. I am open, I am healing, and I am whole. As Mawlana Rumi says, imagine your heart as a guest house. Every wound and heartbreak is a visitor with a message. Which ones have come most often, and which ones do you resist? Perhaps today, just notice, allow yourself to meet the ache without fixing it. Let it guide you gently. It may feel messy, it may feel heavy. That's okay. Healing is not a straight line. It's a slow opening, a tender unfolding. The wound represents your shadow, those painful, rejected, or hidden parts of yourself. The light is awareness, healing, or even the divine. And when life breaks you open, it paradoxically allows truth or transformation to flow. As Carl Jung put, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. Pain humbles the ego, it softens the heart, and it creates spiritual receptivity. When we're cracked open, we're less defensive, we're less full of ourselves, which makes room for grace, insight, or presence. Mawlana Rumi's poem is not just a metaphor, it's a paradox. The broken place isn't something to avoid, it's where revelation enters. Just like seeds break open to sprout, or light enters through stained glass, the beauty is because of the wound, not in spite of it. So ask yourself, what wound in my life has changed me? What came through that crack? And what beauty or truth would I never have known otherwise? I've written a small poem as a reflection of what Mawlana Rumi has taught us today, and the poem is called Where the Light Enters. The heart breaks quietly, like a shell on the shore, cracked by tides unseen. Do not hide from the ache, do not rush past the wound. Breathe into the space and you will see. A soft light gathers there, tiny, trembling, patient, waiting to enter. The tear is a messenger, the silence a teacher, and the wound itself a doorway to your deeper self. Step gently, beloved. Let your sorrow speak. The heart opens only when it's honoured, when it's held, when it's allowed to receive the grace hidden within the pain. So, my dear souls, remember, every wound holds wisdom, every heartbreak is a doorway, every breath is a bridge to your heart. Walk gently, allow the light to enter, welcome your heartache with kindness, speak softly to yourself. Mawlana Rumi reminds us, in trusting God's plan during heartbreak, when the soul suffers too much, it develops a taste for the divine. So even the sharpest pain can become a path to your own light. And as you continue your day, pause, breathe, and remember, you are doing it. You are noticing, you are welcoming, and you are healing. Before we close today, I invite you to carry this practice into your day. Notice your wounds and heartbreaks. Pause, breathe, and welcome them, even if only for a moment. Maybe journal about what they might be trying to teach you, or speak softly to your heart as you would to a friend. And if this episode resonates, share it with someone who might need a gentle reminder that even heartbreak carries light. I look forward to continuing this journey with you, and join me next time as we explore longing and spiritual emptiness. Thank you, my dear souls, for sitting with me today. As we come to the end of this sacred moment, let your heart carry what you felt today, and join me next Friday for another journey into the soul. More Mawlana Rumi poetry, more whispers, more guidance for the heart. Until then, keep following the light within.